Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is an M44, the Tier 6 American SPG. This one's located on the south spawn of Prokhorovka and it's under the command of Duck and Run of VALOR. Game started. Well, it looks to me like Duck and Run's going to shoot from the railway line. Not everyone's dispersed so far. Maybe they haven't all loaded into the game yet. Okay. 155mm howitzer mounted in a Walker Bulldog hull with a swivel bracket, which means it's got a very wide arc of fire. Yes, it's one of the more popular arties in the game because of its rate of fire. It's very, very fast. 16.08 seconds. He's using premium consumables and that will speed up his reload dramatically. He was looking for a quick counter battery there just to see if he could spot the enemy arty. He's firing around at an IS. Now he's got 36 rounds of ammunition, which means you can keep firing virtually the entire game. And the best thing with the M44 is just to keep the fire rate up, because the more shots you fire on target, the more chance you've got of getting a Confederate medal. So if you want medals, if you want to get good results, this is one of the arties to do so. Rounds out on a T150, lands short, does a bit of forestry work instead. Okay, the IS has missed some hit points, or missing some hit points. Only 9, but it might be that he was the one who did that. Rounds out in the IS. Direct hit for 146. This time round, it was him who damaged him, and he stunned him. But you don't get much stun off the M44, I'm afraid. It's relatively small. 550 alpha, 39mm of penetration, 7 meters burst radius. Minimum stun is only 624. And he hit that Peter. 274 hit points off him. That's a non-penetrating shot. Lining up the IS. This is nice. Working out where he's going. He fires around in. The IS starts getting very slow. But it looks like he actually hit something, because the shell didn't explode, and that means that there was possibly another tank right next door to the IS, and I think it might have been an M4A3 EZ8 that was right alongside him. I think he hit that tank and splashed the IS, so I think he got a twofer there. I don't think he got anything from that T150 shot though. He's going after a P43 biz, but he can't see him. Up on top of the hill we've got a Striv 74. That's the Striv 42 with a new turret. It's an old tank, but with a nice new gun and a nice new turret on it. Still fairly weak though. Go for the IS, rounds out, could be a hit. It lands short, only for 168. Okay, there's lots of guys over on this side, and I always find that focusing on the hill in moments like this is actually where you might win the game, because if you can stop those guys from stopping our guys coming over the hill, then you might end up with a winning game. So that's why I tend to neglect the field when I can see that there's a big confrontation going up on the hill. Okay, EBR just died, thank goodness. They are such a pest. Type 64, one of the better light tanks in the game. Unfortunately misses him there. It's a very light tank, but it's got a 76mm gun. It acts almost like a Hellcat, but it's got light tank camo capabilities. That's Type 64. Well worth getting if you haven't got one, and I was surprised to find out just recently that quite a few RT players have never bought themselves a Type. And of course you've got the possibility of getting one from Tank Rewards. So if you do have the option of getting one from Tank Rewards, that's the one you should get. Forget about the TOG. Forget about anything else. Just get the Type and you'll be very, very happy. Going for another shot in the IS. He's obviously a glutton for punishment. He's just sitting there, and oh, the kill goes to the IKV-65-2 from up on the hill. Okay, there's a heavy tank up on the hill, but he's ignoring it at the moment because he's having a look for a quick counter battery. He's looking for Tracer. You can do this, scan for any tracer coming out of the bushes. You don't have to cheat like some person was found doing on Klaus Kallerman's channel just today. We found that somebody was entering into battles with one of his accounts using an Arty. There you go, there's the Arty. No, he's slightly out to one side, slightly bit further back. Yep, he didn't get that one perfect, but you can see the tracer, and he fired the round in, and he's changed position to avoid counter battery. Yes, this person was actually found out, but Klaus actually wondered what this Waffenträger auf Panzervier was doing, and apparently he was using two accounts from two different computers and loading into both games at the same time, into the same game. And whilst he was loading in one Arty, he would then hit the Waffenträger and point at the Artys on his own team where they were located. And there you go, you can just see he's just behind the tree. No, slightly to the right I think this time, but he did get him. He splashed him there, got them. I think it might have been a direct hit, but it looked to me like a splash. Okay, KV2. Now he needs to deal with this guy because he's blocking our guys from coming further. Splashes in for 86. Now he doesn't have to change position now because he's killed the enemy Arty, so there's no need to move for counter battery purposes. I know a lot of people do so as a natural choice, so they get into the discipline of changing position all the time, but it can actually be useful to change position sometimes just to get a better firing position on the enemy. And certainly in an end game it can really help to actually move closer to the enemy. He fires around at the KV2 and unfortunately he didn't get a kill there. Now the one place you don't want to be in a game is up on a heights where you can be spotted by the enemy when there's enemy in the vicinity, because obviously you need to be in cover, and he's just sitting up on top of the railway line, which is not a good move. He's going for the Type 58, which is a Chinese medium. It's their version of the T-3485, I think. Lining him up. Loaded. Rounds out. Direct hit. Beautiful one. 205. Non-penetrating shot, but it still did a huge amount of damage. One more round and a near miss will do the job now. Same spot. Rounds out. Kill. So that's his second kill of the game. First one being the Arty. Oh, we've got a P43 turn now. It's a one shot and he's gone down. The P43 biz is a little more difficult because he's got more hit points. Rounds out in the same position. Lands short. RNG says no. Now at this point I think it would be much more helpful if he was to actually get down and dip, because he's been seen. Yes, somebody saw him some time ago. 3-second delay, remember, before you get spotted, and 6 seconds before he goes unspotted again. He's in the bushes, but there must be a Type 64 close by who has been unspotted for some time by our team, and I reckon he saw duck and run. There's KV3. No, that's short. Yeah, that was bound to be short. He wasn't fully dialed in when he shot. I think that Type 64 is still a problem though, because if he wasn't seen, he might be fairly close. Rounds out in the KV3. This time round he gets some splash. 38 hit points. We're one tank up on the enemy at the moment, but it could change just like that. On hit points wise, the enemy team have more than we do. And that helps, but it's not enough. He needs to get more damage. T150 goes down. They're still ahead of us on hit points, even though they only have 3 tanks to our 5. There's the super hell count in the enemy team. No, they're not particularly very good actually. I can see why Wargaming gave them away for free, because tier 7, Not that great. 156, but they can still kill you if they can fire the right round at you. KV3. Oh, Type 64's found us. Yeah, they are just such sneaky things, they are. Just like Hellcats, but with light tank capability, stealth, and this thing is deadly. I did say, don't stay in the open, be seen, and unfortunately now he has been seen, and that means he's out the game, and they are now around about, well, 160 points, 156 points actually, short on the enemy. So the enemy does have an advantage, and it's 3-all. There's their Super Hellcat against ours. Theirs takes a big hit, but oh, both got 90mm. Oh, that was a good shot by the KV2. And that puts our team with the advantage. The IKV's moving to try and get into a position that he can support, but I don't think the Type 64 is going to be down here. I think that Type 64 is on his way up this end of the map to kill that KV2. Because I reckon if he can kill the KV2, then the Super Hellcat's going to be no trouble whatsoever. The KV2 is the big problem because of his number of his hit points and the fact he's got that 152mm gun. And they're capping, and they've been spotted. Yeah, the Type's nearby. He's in the bushes. There he is. I could tell you that. That's what a Type would do, and he's just going to sit there and die. Well, he's not sitting there and dying, he's going to move away, but he's still going to die. And the Type, well, he's so quick, easy to move around. I suppose the Type thought that the Super Hellcat was an easier kill than the KV2, but here comes the enemy's KV2, and our KV2's just taken the hit, and he's gone down to the Type. And the IKV's come to the other side of the railway line to shoot at the KV3. Well, it's not KV2, it's KV3. But now he's all alone, facing two opponents, one of which he probably won't see until he's right on top of him. And that KV3, of course, who might have, and is very likely to have, a very nasty gun. He could have the 122mm. I don't think he does, though. So, all down to the IKV now. I think they kind of ruined this one. What they should have done under the circumstances is return to their own cap area to try and prevent the KV3 and the Type from capping with safety in numbers. If they'd all got together near the bushes, then it would have been very difficult for the enemy to get close to them, and that's the end of the game. Type 64 got the kill. The Type is a very, very deadly little light tank. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Well, it was the first class tank of a duck and run in the M44. He did very well up until the moment that he started parking himself right on top of the railway line, made himself rather obvious to everyone who could see him. He got a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 25 in that one. He got a Gore's medal for doing more damage than 8 times the hit points of his own vehicle. A Confederate for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else, and he did get the high caliber on this occasion for causing the most damage to the enemy, at least 20% of the hit points and over 1,000 in total. So let's have a look at the team score. Highest damage, 2,480 hit points of damage. The next high scorer was the Type 64 with 2,152. Yes, I kind of expected that. He's obviously somebody who actually plays the Type on a regular basis. I do, and I know from experience that this is actually quite a good Clan Wars tank if you want to have a little light that can run around everywhere doing almost as much damage as the 90mm on a Hellcat will do. Well, not quite as much damage. It's got a fast fire rate. It's faster than the 90mm, but it's still a very deadly tank, and you can see that by the fact he did 2,152 hit points of damage in that game. Second highest scorer was the KV3 with 1,009 well, third highest scorer rather, 1,923 hit points of damage for him, and then the KB2 on our own team with 1,854. When it came to kills, it was the type again, 6 kills. Yeah, he actually managed to get a Top Gun and an All-X medal out of that game. And the second highest scorers were the Leo, the KB2, and the Super Hellcat on his own team. And we can see that dukanrun only got 2 kills, I'm afraid. When it came to base XP, it was the type, yes. I'm afraid that thing is very deadly. 1,427 base experience points for him, 712 for the KB3, 677 for dukanrun in the M44. Third highest base XP in that game, and after that, it's the Super Hellcat on the enemy team. So he was better than 13 other members of the enemy team when it came to base XP. 25 shots fired, 8 direct hits, 1 penetration, 21 splash. Damage of 2,480 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He received 3 hits, all 3 were penetrations from that Type 64's gun, and that was the end of his game. 10 enemy vehicles damaged, 2 killed, and that's an 8 difference, that's why he got the Confederate, and 153 hit points of damage assistance, plus 295 hit points of stun assist off 20 stuns. On a free-to-play account, he earned 27,495 credits for the battle. He got 70,000 credits from personal missions payout and 3,671 for the Achievements Award. That's because he got Epic and Battle Hero medals in a losing or a drawn game. So his total was 101,166 credits. But after ammunition, resupply, repair and consumables, he still made a profit of 66,581 credits. If he'd actually had a premium account, well, according to this, it wouldn't have been much more because it actually says the same figures, but I'm sure it would have been more. 677 base XP, 384 for the Achievements Award, took away 1,061 experience points altogether. So I think the takeaway from this one, dukanrun, is don't park on top of a railway line in full sight of the enemy. It just makes you more vulnerable. If the enemy has to hunt you down, if you hide in the bushes, it's very difficult for him to work out where he needs to go to find you. But if you sit in the open, the moment he comes within view range, he's going to spot you and then make an immediate beeline towards you. And with his camera rating being the same on the move as when he's stationary, you're not going to see him until it's far too late to do anything about it. Your sixth sense went off, yes, but the moment the sixth sense went off, you should have skedaddled out of there straight away to a new firing position because the type was on his way over to kill you and it was only a matter of time before he turned up. So if you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel, and thank you for watching.